All right, everyone. So we're just having a bit of a chuckle. Um, James reckons he doesn't need to be formally introduced, but we love James and we're very grateful and appreciative of all his time and contributions to, right now we're talking Australasian, but I know he's a global contributor as well to our great Manatech community. So I'm Sharon Whiteman. I host this call with Diana Hunter and Gary Knapp, and we love doing this. And we love being here with you every week. And it's definitely a pleasure and a privilege. So James likes to say he's the story that no teacher wants to tell their students about. He went from getting the lowest grade in his high school year to becoming a national sales manager of a small public company. His passion for understanding the sales process and what makes a person say yes to buying a product fueled his success because he could never really understand why people would say no. If they did, he knew he had made a mistake and the mistakes could be fixed. But it was this knowledge of people's behaviors that warned him that changes were coming for the company he worked for. He needed to start a new challenge and see if he could take his passion for people and processes and do something for himself. James said no to building a Manatech business 3 times, but then one day his upline, Rod Gilchrist, helped him see what was possible. Although James wasn't an overnight success, he was able to build a large international business. Starting over 21 years ago, his passion for Manatech is more today than it has ever been. His dream is to help all Manatechers achieve their dreams. Did you know that depending on different personality styles and different presentations to people, they'll all have different kinds of maybe concerns and thoughts when making a decision. So today is all about assisting people to feel comfortable with their choices and answer their concerns. And James is a master communicator. So James, thank you so very much.
My pleasure. It's great to be here again. It's so good. Who's looking forward to Christmas? I can't wait for Christmas. Bring on Christmas. Buying presents everywhere right now. Feel like I work all year to buy presents, but here's the thing. I love it. I love Christmas. I love the whole idea of buying presents. I'm always saying, even if I bought someone a present, I'll say, what do you want for Christmas? Because I just want to give something else. I want to do something else. I want to, all that too. And at the same time, where we've got some big plans for next year. So looking forward to next year as well. But I hope you are all having a wonderful lead up to Christmas. It's been an interesting year, and I don't want you to worry. Things are going to get better. So would you like me just to go on with it, Shaz? And then that's okay.
I'll go off camera now, but I'll be right here.
Is it okay? And I'll spotlight myself, and that way people can get scared. Okay, so welcome tonight. So today you're going to have the opportunity to get feedback. One of the biggest, the biggest, scariest things that we have in building a business is actually building a business, right? Why do we find it so scary? Why do people find the whole thought of building their business scary? And it's because of a story that gets played. But let's talk about this first. Let's get into the fear component. Your growth, your ability to change your life is going to come down to one person only, that's you. It's not going to be impacted by the government. It's not going to be impacted by Manatech's choices. It's not going to be impacted by your upline, by your downline. It's going to be impacted by you. And I know that many times that we can say that, hey, this is impossible, James. You have no idea the challenges I'm going through. But if you think about it for a moment, and for those of you that were with us on the AIM event last weekend, which was amazing, we heard the story of Matt Levy and how the challenges that he faced. And even though he missed out by 0.5 of a second, I think it was, then he spent the next 7 years to get faster, or 7 years, 5 years, something like some crazy amount of time to reduce his time by 0.5 of a second, or whatever the time was. And if we can think about it, he spent years trying to reduce his time by 0.5 of a second just to get into the squad. But we spend a little bit of time just to try and become successful. And so when you think about that, you bring that into what you're doing. I want you to understand you're going to get some trials, some tribulation. You're going to have some knockbacks along the way, and you're going to realize that you're going to fail along the way. And so what we have to do, what we want to be able to do, is become resilient against the fact that we're going to fail. We have to allow failure to be part of life, and to understand that it's not a bad thing and it's not a good thing. And success is not a good thing and it's not a bad thing either. It's just a thing. When you look at it as a thing, it loses its power over you. But at the same time, I know you might be thinking, well, I want my success, the success I dream of, to draw me to it. It can, and it does. However, what you don't want it to do is the lack of the success that you see to stop you from moving forward. I can't tell you how many times I've set a goal and I failed in that goal. You know, one of the goals might be, I'm not going to eat bad food during the week. Yep, I eat bad food during the week. It might be I'm not going to have a drink during the week. Yep, I have a drink during the week. It might be that I'm going to exercise every day. Sometimes I don't exercise because I just don't want to. It's comfortable on the lounge. And so we beat ourselves up and we find a way for us to give up. And that. And I love what Grant Cardone says. He says that, you know, for you, when you set your goal, it's not the goal that's the problem. The goal should never, ever, ever be shortened. So for instance, let's say that you set a goal for next year and you're going to be presidential. You've never been there before. You don't know what it's going to take, but you're setting that goal right now. Here's the thing that you're going to make the mistake on. You're going to think and you're going to do and all that sort of stuff. The mistake, you're going to think about it, you're going to set it in place, you're going to put all the action steps in place and that. But the mistake you're going to make is this, and I fully agree with Grant Cardone when he says this, the mistake you're going to make is the amount of effort that it's going to require for you to achieve the goal that you've set in place. Now, if your goal is very, very small, then you can achieve it and it won't require that much effort. But if your goal is large, it's going to require a lot more effort than you realize. And then you've got to understand that as you start to realize and understand that it's going to require more effort, you get to make the choice. Do I want to put in the effort? Do I want to overcome? Because effort is just effort. And as Danny Johnson says, the only thing that overcomes fear is action. Action kills fear. So if you're afraid of things, if you're afraid of building your business, you're afraid of moving forward, you're afraid of overcoming, there's only one thing that's going to overcome those challenges that you face, and that is action. So let's bring all of that together. Let's bring together that you're afraid. I want you to know that's okay. You're normal. Let's also bring it together that the goal that you're going to set, you have not underestimated the time in which you can achieve it. I just want you to know, if in your heart you set a goal to achieve something, you can achieve it. You have not underestimated that. But what you have underestimated is the amount of effort that's going to be required. The ability for you to achieve that goal means that you're not going to be able to do the things that you've been doing in the past. It means that you will have to change some of those things that you do, whether it's the way you deal with people, the amount of activity that you do, and as Grant Cardone and so many other leaders around the world say now, increase it by 10. So if you speak to one person a day, speak to 10. But here's the change. If you are wanting to build a business, not just customer base, but an actual business where you have associates that are building a team, then if you're bringing in 10 customers, 5 customers, 3 customers a month, and that's enough, then what I would suggest is that you stop focusing on, you keep the focus on the customers that you're currently doing, but increase the effort and the energy that you're putting into bringing associates on by 10 minimum. Think about it. Think about what would happen in your business if you increased it by 10. What would happen in your business if you increase the focus of bringing on associates, business partners, people that want to grow, people that want to develop, people that want to expand, people that have got a vision, people that want to say, you know what, I want to do this into your business, and you decided that you're going to do it by 10. What would happen? The next part of that is as you realize, you know what, that you want that you achieve, that you can see that happening, that you do want more associates, you do want to build a team, not just a customer base, because a customer base is going to make you frustrated. Why? Because your customer base, unless you are working your customer base to upgrade and become business partners, if there is no focus on building a team, you will not build a team. Okay, let me say that again. If there is no focus on building a team and getting those people to build a team, you will not build a team. But did you notice what I just said there? Focus on building a team who want to build a team, not building a team. Okay, if you just build a team, then it's going to be one level. It's going to be linear. It's not going to have any depth. It's just going to be at this one point. But if you focus on building a team who builds a team, okay, and then let them do exactly the same thing, that they build a team who builds a team, it changes the perception and changes the activity that you're going to do. You cannot build your business with the focus of just customers or the focus of just building a team. You must focus and change your focus from building customers to building a team who build a team. I hope I'm making it clear. I know that sometimes it can be a little bit confusing, but I hope that is clear. Now, if we take that mentality and that thought process into building the team, and we realize that if I am going to up my energy, I'm going to up my output when it comes to your recruiting, just by you upping your output by 10. Instead of speaking to one person a month, you speak to 10. If you're speaking to one person a week, you speak to 10. If you're speaking to one person a day, you speak to 10. People often ask me, well, James, how did you change your business from 0 to, turning over whatever it turns over, hundreds of thousands of points a month, right? How did that happen? Well, it happened because we made a decision that, I made a decision I was going to put in an incredible amount of effort. An incredible amount. I mean, I'm talking an incredible amount. I invested nearly everything I had in money, everything I had in time, and everything I had in spare energy and energy I didn't have. That's what I did. The question I asked him, a friend of mine who's no longer in the business, he was very successful. We used to talk about it, and we would say, we introduced you guys. We've introduced our leaders, and they've gone on and built, and then they ask and they try and figure out, well, how come you're more successful than I am? And it's because we introduced them. And then the next thing is, well, you need to start introducing those people. Many times what happens is everyone wants to wait on their upline to put somebody underneath them. And then that becomes the victim mentality. The victim mentality is this, is that I need somebody to place somebody underneath me. I need somebody to give me a business. I need somebody to do this. I need this and I need that. That is the victim mentality, and you're nobody's victim. You are a person and a leader that wants to build a business. So let's have a look at this. But in that journey and in that exponential growth that you want to see as you start to 10 times your energy, you're now going to start to move in to realize just by 10 times in your energy, you're going to overcome most of the objections. Why? Because people are afraid to give an objection to someone who's very clear about where they're going. Have you ever noticed that? Have you ever noticed that people are afraid to give an objection to someone who's very clear about where they're going? Sure, there is still going to be a small amount of people who object, but when a leader is specific and is clear and is concise, but more than that, is determined undeniably to achieve the goal that they want to achieve, it's very hard for somebody to come up to them and for them to affect their energy, because that person is determined. So rather than people push back, people join in. Because here's the thing, people do not want to be left behind. Everyone has a fear of loss. Everyone is working on, I don't want to be the one that misses out. When we launch a new country, we say, who do you know that lives in, right? There's a simple question. Who do you know that lives in? And as Manatech's about to open 5 new countries in Europe, we got to ask the question you want to be asking is, who do you know that lives in? Why? Now, this isn't to build that country. That is to build the country we're currently in. Why? Because launching into a new country is going to be, it's expensive. It's more energy than you know. It just takes it out of you, right? It just does. But if you are prepared for that energy and you're prepared to put that in, and I've launched 4 countries so far, I've been in that, and I know the energy it's required. And is it worth it? Yes, but you have to be prepared to put it in. So overcoming the objection starts with you understanding that whatever it's going to take for you to achieve your goal, increase it by 10. As soon as you increase it by 10, the heavens will open up and you will start to attract to you the people that you want and need to grow. As you start to realize you need to build a team of people who want to build a team, then all of a sudden your focus changes from linear to depth. And that's exactly what you're looking for. You start to realize that the people on the front line, they matter, but they don't matter as much as the people on the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th line. You start to realize that those people that are down in depth are the reason that you're going to be able to retire on the beaches someday, because those people in depth are going to keep inspiring the people above. And the ones that drop out that are in the above maybe shouldn't have been in the above in the first place. Maybe they were never meant to be there. And maybe their sense of lack and their sense of inability to believe in themselves and to grow is their issue, not your issue. So as people start to drop out and as people start to say goodbye, that's okay. That's not a problem, because that's the deal. They shouldn't have been there in the first place. They've had their season with you. Now it's time for somebody else to have their season with you. One of the things that I look at is that I understand that when people are in my life, they're in it for a season. Some are in it for my entire life season, others are not. And those people that are not, they leave. And I am thankful that I had them for a season, but after that, I'm thankful also that they've gone and they've chosen another path to fulfill whatever it is that they're going to fulfill in life. What we do is that we hold on to people realizing that, or thinking and believing, well, that they should be with me forever. Where in fact, those people that are in your life for a season, they are there to teach you something, give you something, move you on, or they're there for you to teach them something, give them something, or help them move on. And it happened this morning for me in my martial arts studio. A young girl, she's doing fantastic. She loves it. But her mum and I maybe don't get along too well. That's okay. You don't get along with everyone. So, I get the text, it's time for us to move on. No problem. I'm so happy that her daughter got to train with me for a period of time. And now they've made that choice to move on. That's okay. I'm thankful for the time that they were with me. But here's the thing. If I put my future in their hands, then I'm going to look at them and I'm going to say, that means that I cannot grow. That because they left, that means somebody else is going to left. That means that everything's going to fall down around me and I'm going to fail. That's not the way it works. As you build your business and you lay your foundation and you realize you're building a team of people who build a team, then it doesn't matter if one or two leave because your focus is in depth. Your focus is in people development. You're laying a foundation. Here's the next part of it. You're also realizing that, well, I'm not going to blame anybody else for these people leaving. I'm going to take on the responsibility that they're leaving because of me. And why? Now you might be thinking, oh, geez, James, that's full on. It is full on, but the challenge is, the difference is this, is that if you do not take on the belief that they are leaving because of you, then you won't change. You won't look at the thing and go, how could I have done better? What did I say to move them on? What did I say to push them away? What didn't I do? What could I have done better? Okay, what kind of leader do I need to become so that the next person that joins my team that I invest into, that they stay? Who do I need to become? But at the same time, when they leave, I'm not going to sit back and suck my thumb and call up in the fetal position in the corner, wishing that they had it and thinking that my world is going to fall apart. No, I know if a person wants to leave my business, I will replace them. Okay, that's just it. My future is not determined by someone staying or someone going. Now, don't get me wrong. I love my team. I will fight for my team. I will go to bat for my team. But if they made a choice to leave, then I'm going to be very sad. Don't get me wrong, because I love my team. It's like losing a part of your family. However, the mentality for you is this, is that you go, well, I'm going to replace them. Because for the length of time that you stay in that place of negativity is the length of time that you're impacting the rest of your business. So let's think about this then as you're starting to prospect. As you start to prospect and as you start to realize that you're going to get rejection, and those rejections, those people who say no, or those people who don't join when you thought that they were going to join, if you allow your future to be camped with those people, you can't move on. Sure, it's going to sting. Sometimes it's going to feel like a punch in the guts, but that's okay. That's all right. You just learn, what did I do wrong? How could I have done it better? And was it the right time for them? I do not believe in you cannot say the wrong thing to the right person. I don't believe that at all. That is a lie. Forget it. You can absolutely say the wrong thing to the right person, because you say the wrong thing to the right person, they're going to get offended and they're going to leave, right? So you've got to become better. So let's now look at overcoming these objections. So realizing your energy is number one. If you want to learn how to overcome objections, first and foremost, your energy is number one. Your power of positivity, your direction. You're focusing where you're going and what you're going to do. Get that right, everything else will flow. By the way, are you taking notes? I'm giving you a ton. So far, I've given you a ton. Give me a little chat. Have you taken notes? Who's taken notes so far? If you're taking notes, I want to know, have you taken notes? Excellent. So make sure anybody else? Fantastic. Good. Take notes. Notes is important. You must come back to this. This is going to revolutionize. Just the first thing that we've spoken about at the start will revolutionize your business if you do it. The second thing, now let's get into overcoming those objections. First of all, it's understanding, that's okay, Kim, there's going to be a recording. You can come back and listen to it again and again, all good. And one of the reasons I don't like presentations is because if I put everything up on a slide, people sit back, they go, I'm just going to take a screenshot of that slide and I don't need to do anything. That never works. I'm just letting you know, if you're the person that sits in a presentation and someone puts up a slide and you go click and you're not writing any notes, then you're not learning. So if you're in a presentation, you see a slide, rather than take a click, can I make a suggestion? You go click and then take notes, write it down again. Always write notes just to make sure. Yeah, it does, Chrissy, 100% gets in your brain. Now, whew, going fast, right? Okay, now let's start going to overcoming the objections. For me, the way that I overcome objections is I do it at the start of when I start to talk to people, and then I overcome them in the close of the presentation. What do I mean by that? When you're presenting to somebody in your presentation, you can be overcoming most of the objections. So I want you to do this for a moment. We're going to take 1 minute. 1 minute, you can take a minute break. That allows me to get my breath back. You're going to take a 1 minute break, and I want you to write in the chat box the objection you receive. You all know the objection. You get one. There's 1 or 2 objections that you all get nearly all the time. That's all. Only 1 or 2. There's really 5, maybe 6, but that's it. So if you learn how to overcome the 1, 2, or even 5 or 6 objections that you get all the time, okay, once you've overcome those, done. You won't have a problem anymore. Keep going. Let's have a look at what they've got. Keep going. Yep, keep going. Just the real objections. The objections you get, write them in the chat. 45 seconds to go. Keep going. Most of your objections that you're telling me right now are because of the way you're presenting, just so you know. Everything I'm seeing right now is because of the way you're presenting. Keep going. Let's see it. It's all good. Ten seconds. All right. Good. Let's have a look. Let's start right up the top. Looks like, what do we got here? It's got to be tangible. Don't know what that means. Money, expensive time, business later, scam, money, time, MLM, can't afford it, it's expensive. Check with my doctor. Okay, cool. Let's talk about money. Let's talk about, is it, no, that's not that song, is it? I don't know how the song. All right. Let's have a look at money. So it looks like, but remember I said there's really only 2 to 5 objections. If you go through those, what's there? There's probably 2 to 5 objections. So you as an individual, you as a leader, learn how to overcome those objections. So number 1, your presentation, the way that you're presenting will overcome most of the objections. First, if you're speaking to the wrong person, you will never sell them. Let me say that again. If you're speaking to the wrong person, they'll never join your team. They'll never, you shouldn't even be speaking to them unless you want someone to practice on. There are absolutely people that should not be in this industry. I just want you to know that. So if you're speaking to the unemployed, the unemployed person who's probably not had a job in a very, very long time, and you're trying to sell them on a $300 pack, they're going to have a problem with money. Okay. So first thing you need to understand that. However, if you're speaking to the normal individual with a job, with a family, got a home, a car, all of those kind of things, money is never the problem. Even though I just said that about the person that hasn't got money, I didn't have money. I didn't. I was earning $500 a week. I had 2 babies. I was married at the time. I was on $500 a week and I joined. How the heck did I do that? The pack to join was $495 at that time, but that was half the price. And then you had to spend another $500 to do the upgrade. So very different to today. What changed? Because I didn't look, I wasn't presented with buying product. So if you're wondering why people are focused and saying it's too expensive, it's because you're focusing on them buying a product and selling product. But here's the foundation I want you to take. Write this down. The objection you're receiving is the objection you have. So I'll say it again. The objection you're receiving is the objection you have. So what's that mean? If you look at the price of the product and you can't see the value, you have a problem with it. You have a problem with spending so much money. Guess what energy that you're putting out to your prospect? Oh, I'm afraid they're not going to be able to afford it. It's expensive for me. It's expensive for me, it's probably going to be expensive for them too. You see what I'm saying? Whereas if you are the individual where you've gone, well, you know what, it's like, okay, I don't see a problem with the pack. I don't see a problem with the price. This is what it is. You're not putting out that energy. You're not putting out that fear. And because you're not putting that out, they're not going to catch on to that. Most of the time, the reason you're getting the objection is because that's the objection you have. Ask yourself right now, do you have a problem with money? Is money a problem? Meaning, do you have enough? Do you feel like the products are expensive? And if they are, rather than looking at them as an expense, look at them as an investment. And then you have to get moving with 10 times of the energy. So rather than being a cost, they become an investment that gives you a return. Where you're putting in $100, $200 worth of product a month, or putting in $200, but your business is giving you back $2,000. Okay, meaning this. So if you are going and you are doing a present, so you're going, okay, I need to spend $200 a month on product. Oh man, I don't have, that's $200 a month. I don't have $200 a month to spend on product. Rather than you look at the $200 a month, I want you to look at the return that you're going to get on that $200 if you get up and get moving right now. That if you get up and you put 10 times the effort, and you know you can, you absolutely know you can. 100% you know you can. You know, and you can feel it in your gut. You can feel it in the depth of your soul that you can put in 10 times more effort. What would that return be? What would that $200 a month be return? See, here's the funny thing, right? Just had this girl leave our business, couldn't afford to buy product herself. Said, this is what she said, couldn't afford to buy product. But every time I'd look at her Facebook page, she'd be going and getting new nails, getting her eyelashes done, getting her hair colored or whatever they do. So I would see that, but she would still say this. And then goes and joins another business and invests $1,500 or whatever it was, but didn't have the money to buy product. Here's the other thing to understand. When people are giving you when people are talking, they're lying. And I know that's a very skeptical phrase and a very skeptical way of looking at things. And I can sound pretty tough, right? I sound like, I guess I've been around long enough. I've just been around long enough to know that people are going to come up with excuses. Let them have their excuses, but your way of overcoming those is look at how you're presenting. So I want to know, how many minutes, hours do you practice your presentation? Okay, how many minutes, hours do you practice your presentation each day or week? How much time have you put in to your presentation? Product-wise, I bet you put in a lot into the product. I bet you have put in a ton of effort into learning about the product, learning about how it works and how it's going to help a person. How much time have you put into learning how to present it? How much time have you put into learning how you're going to do a business presentation? Not learning, but actually then going and practicing it in front of the mirror. You see, you want to know why I earn $300 and something thousand a year from Manatech? Why? Was 300? I don't know, 10, 20. That's close to 300 a year from Manatech. It's because of the effort I put into the time of me learning how to do something. I put in more effort in my practice than most people ever think of. I'm always learning, always learning. I'm always analyzing what I'm doing. I'm analyzing what I'm doing in my presentation with you right now. How much time are you doing? If you want to know how to overcome your rejections, watch yourself, video yourself, to put up your phone on the wall somewhere and video your presentation. Then you're going to know, number one, and watch it back and ask yourself, would I buy from this person? Would I join this person's team? But you want to know what? You can fix that. Here's the great thing. Here's the thing that's going to change everything for you, that you can fix it. You can fix that. So if you want to know how to overcome the money objection, fix it yourself, in yourself first. The second part is you don't need to, you're trying to sell them. Great question, Pauline. I don't sell them. I sell them a pack if it's one of the Osaline packs. Otherwise, I sell them what they want to buy. There is no reason a person should not be buying our products. GI Pros, $35 or something, Metabears, Omega oils, Catalyst, far out. Get a person on a bottle of Catalyst a month. Every person you speak to, there's something they can buy. But what everyone's doing is you're going, I want to sell someone $300 to $500. But let me let you in on a secret when it comes to marketing. We have a thing called a funded proposal system in marketing. What that is a person comes on board, they buy something small, might be $10, $20, $30, $50, something low cost. When they buy that low cost item, signed up, credit cards down, that's the time you introduce the bigger options. Why? Well, because it's easier to sell something to somebody once they've already bought. I'll say that again. It's easier to sell something to somebody when they've already bought. So rather than trying to sell the $300 pack, and you know that that's going to be a problem for that individual, or you believe it is, can I make a suggestion that you try and sell the thing that you don't have a problem on price? Because it is you. You're the problem. Just know that. Don't be a victim. It's not them. It's you. No matter what they say. When they say it's not you, it's me, well, it is them, to them, but to you, it's you. Okay? If you let everybody else be the problem, then you're the victim. You're not the victim. That's helping somebody. Anyway, so sell them the small thing. You can have 100 customers buying GI Pro every month. Most of those people are they're going to buy GI Pro every month. Most of those people, why? It's $35. They want to look after their gut. It's cheap. It's not expensive. You feel good about it. They feel good about it. Easy entry to market, easy entry into business. Then what you do is you go, you know how you got the GI Pro, and I know it's about your gut, but we have another product called True Health that might go really well with that for a bit of a cellular cleanse. And you told me that you really wanted to lose some weight. There's Osaline as well. Now we can start to upgrade them. So if you're the person that needs to build up, and let me tell you, this is very normal. I want you to come backwards to go forward. As you build up your confidence, I trained a person one time, they needed to get 50 customers in a weekend, 50, 50. And this was a challenge we went on. It was a challenge, it was a few years ago. She didn't know what she was going to do. And we spoke and I said, what are you doing? She goes, she's trying to sell packs. We were trying to sell big packs. And I said, why are you doing that? She goes, I don't know. And I said, do this. Instead of selling a pack, I just want you to go get customers, 50 customers. You're just going to sell this one product. Tell me what product you love the most. She said, Omega. I said, why do you love Omega? She said, because everyone needs it. It's great for the brain, great for the heart. Everyone has it. Great. 50 customers this month, this weekend, go. She went and got 49 customers in a weekend, bought one bottle of Omega oil. 49. Why? Number one, she had a time that she needed to get it done by. It needed to be done in 48 hours. And there was a big cost if she didn't. Big cost. That's another thing for another time. So she had to get it done. She went and got it done. Time. The other part, she increased her energy by 10-fold. In fact, she increased her energy by 50-fold. Like went through the roof. She had 3 months to get 50 customers. 3 months, right? But she didn't do anything in the 99% of that time and wasn't getting results because the mechanism was wrong. She needed a way of finding a change of the mechanism, changing the way she was doing something to get the results she needed to do. So she changed the mechanism. I spoke, gave her some pointers. She changed it when got 50 customers in 2 days or 49. Not bad, right? So what can you do if you increase your energy level, you increase your commitment, and you stop trying to sell the thing that you're having the problem with? And then once you get to that level where, you know, every day of the week now, for me personally, one of my businesses, every day or every second day, I'm selling $10,000 to $20,000 packages every second day in one of my marketing agencies. I don't have a problem with money because people don't have a problem with money every second day. Now, if you realize this, then everything will change for you in the money side of things. So start smaller, work your way up. I hope that answers that question. Then the next part of it is, let's get to the price. And now, let's say you've done your presentation. You've been confident in your presentation. And you've realized that in your presentation, you have to be more confident, okay? Where you have to go, I'm not going to show my fears because I've practiced enough to realize that's my fear, it's not theirs. My problem doesn't have to become their problem. You don't have to be putting your problem on them. Your problem is you're afraid of money. You're afraid people won't have the money. You're afraid people aren't going to put in the time and the effort that you've put in. People will put in the time and the effort that you've put in. People will put in more. People will put in more effort than you, okay? I call that the God complex, where we think that we're the only one that will put in all of the effort. That's not true. I've definitely had people in my business put in more effort and get bigger results than me, okay? And then others haven't put as much effort, but have also got great results based on their skill. And that's another time for another topic for another time, skill versus effort. As you improve your skill, you have to work less. It's an interesting dichotomy. So now let's have a look at the other, how to overcome the objections. I like having a close, and I use this close. It's my favorite close. The one you can either use the Eric Worre close, the Danny Johnson close. I kind of combine both. Mine goes, first question is, what did you like about what you just saw? Whether I'm presenting to a friend or a lead, what did you like about what you just saw? And they will say, I liked the money, or I liked that product. Great, tell me more about that. Why did you like that? Excellent. Then my next thing, I ask them, on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being you're not interested, 10 being you're ready to get started and change your life, I mean, where would you say you are? And they say, I'm a 3. If anybody says anything above a 1, that's awesome. Let me hear, you got to hear this, guys. If anybody says on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being they're not interested, 10 they are, anything above a 1 is awesome. Why? Because they've said they're interested. I know, right? They've said they're interested. And you're like, but there's only a 2, James. They're interested. I don't care about the number. The only numbers I care about, I don't want to hear a 1, or even if they say 1, I don't care. But if they say a 1, that's fine, I move on. But if they say a 2, gotcha. Why? Because they're now, all they want is me to help overcome their objections. On a scale of 1 to 10, where would you be? I'm a 2. Excellent. Great. Sounds like, so if there was a way that so tell me, what did you want to get? And they give me the dreams. In their presentation, they've told me that they want to travel the world, they want to buy a new home, they want to get a car. I said, great. If there was a way that I could help you to, if I was a way to show you how you could actually get out of debt, buy that car, go on that holiday, would you want to check it out? Would you be interested? Would you be ready to get started? And they say, Yes. Okay. So it sounds like you have a few questions. What's your first question? And one of the questions might be is, I don't have enough time. Great. I write that question down. I don't answer it. Do not answer the first question. Second question. What's the second question? How do I find people? Okay, great. Write that question down. Third question. What is it? Do I have to buy product every month? Awesome. I write that down. Okay. So let me repeat those questions back. The first question is, I don't have much time. The second question is, do I have to buy product? Third question is, what was the third question? Someone listening? Hope someone was listening. There was something else. I said, if I'm able to answer those questions for you and you feel good and you feel comfortable, let me say that again. If I'm able to answer those questions for you and you feel good and you feel comfortable, will you be ready to get started so we can go and get you that new home, that new car, and travel the world? And they'll say yes, because if not, they lied. Okay. And nobody wants to be seen as a liar. Okay. So they'd give you their objections. Now what you do is you answer those objections. The first one is time. I don't have much time. This is how you go. Empathy before authority, always. Empathy before authority, always. I don't have much time. I understand what you're saying. Time is tough right now. Everyone is busy. But what I found is that everyone has the same 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It's just what we choose to do with it. So let me tell you about blah. And then you share a testimony of someone that you know that was in a similar situation to that person. Okay? Does that make sense? You share a testimony about time. All I know is that we all have the same 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And time, it's hard for everybody. But let me tell you about blah, who wanted something similar to you. She found a way. He found a way. And then you ask the question, does that answer that objection for you? And they'll go, yeah, because they know they're wasting time. They know they're sitting at home in front of the TV, watching TV. They know that they're spending time doing things that they don't need to be doing. They know that. Okay. So yeah, and if they say, no problem, don't move on, say, look, this isn't for you, no problem at all, move on next. Next question, do I have to buy product? You know what? I understand a lot of people ask that question, and sometimes it can be confusing. Do I have to buy product? Empathy. But here's what we found is that, it's hard to sell a product that you're not taking. So what we suggest to people is find a product that you like the idea of, the product that you like, be the advocate for that product. And then you're able to say to people when they ask you, are you taking their product? You can say, yes. But the great thing with our company is you actually don't need to buy product every month to build a business. However, here's the thing. I won't work with anybody that's not buying the product. Why? Because that person needs to have commitment. So if you're not prepared to buy the product, this isn't the right business for you. Now, here's the thing. Why would I say that? Why? Well, the reason is because I want them to know that I have posture. I'm not laying over. I'm not there trying to be pushed around by somebody else. They're joining my team. They're going to come in under my rules. They're going to come in and do the game that I want them to play, not the game they want to play, because they're already proven they don't know what to do because they've never done it before. And they've had no success. If they had success, they wouldn't be leaving doing what they're doing. So they're going to come in and play my game. So then I say, does that answer that question for you? And they'll say, yes. I say, great. Third question is, how do I find people? I say, great question. Finding people, you're going to need people to build your business 100%. One of the things that we found is that if you are opening a restaurant, let's say you were opening a cafe down the road. Tell me a cafe. They said a cafe name. I said, if you were opening that restaurant and you had no money left to advertise, but you had an opening night coming up on Friday night, and you had to fill the place. You had to make sure that people were there for your launch. So you're launching, and you need to make sure people were there for your launch. What would you do? I guess I would go into buy, swap, and sell groups on Facebook. I guess I'd put a post up. What else would you do? I guess I'd call my friends and my family, make sure they're there. Excellent. What else would you do? I'd put on special. I'd probably give some things away. Excellent. Perfect. You're going to do exactly the same thing in launching your business. Does that make sense? Yes, it does. Does that answer your question? Yes, it does. Great. What's your address? Where would you like your first pack sent to? I don't ask them, do they want to join? The answer will be no. I do not ask them, do you have more questions? The answer will be, yeah, let me think about it. All I say is, excellent. Give me your address. Where would you like your first pack sent to? If you're asking, would you like to join? No. They said that if you answer those 3 questions for me, I'll be ready to get started. You answered those 3 questions. They're ready to get started. Don't put your fear on them. Instead, put your authority and your confidence in them that they're going to grow and succeed in business. Your fear that they will fail is stopping them from getting started. Did you hear me? If you are afraid that they will fail, if you're afraid that they'll get in and that they won't succeed, if you're afraid that they're going to get in, everyone's going to reject them, if you're afraid that they'll get in and they won't want to do the work, if you're afraid that they're going to get in and they're going to have problems, guess what? All of that stuff is now going on them. They're feeling it. They're not going to want to do it. Don't put it on them. Keep that to yourself. Work through it yourself. Go and change the world. Okay, that's me. There's so much content in this one, Sharon, Gary, Diana. This was like a ton of information. I hope everyone got something out of it.
You're like a rapid fire expert brain. I don't have the words. Awesome, James, really awesome.
My pleasure. It was an honor to be here. Yeah, this is all real conversation. This is not texting. It's very hard, you know. I know Naomi and the team are always signing people up on texting and Messenger, but and I do that too, but I'm just not that good at it. I'm better at getting someone on a phone or belly to belly, face to face.
Awesome, James. Yeah. Thank you so very much. And I hope you have the best. We won't be seeing you to next year, so I hope you have the best holiday season.
Thank you very much, Sharon. You too, and to everybody. And thank you again to you, Diana, and to Gary for putting this on every week. The value is intense. Team, be on this call with Ty next weekend. He is a master at email marketing, but not just email marketing. He is a master recruiter, a master prospector, a master online, a master team builder. He is an incredible leader and a funny guy. Well, he thinks he's funny.
Well, look forward to it. It's a great hour we spend here every week with our community. So thank to each and every one of you. Can't do it without you. And we'll see you next week with Ty. And then finalizing the week, we've got a couple of really good ideas for our last call of the year. So let's just confirm some details. I'll let you know middle of the week this week. All right. Thanks, everyone. Bye, have a great weekend. Guys. Hope you don't get too wet.